Thanks, Tim. Coronavirus testing is ramping up in Maryland with more than 8,000 tests performed in one day. There are now more than 19,000 cases here and at least 858 deaths. The number of people hospitalized is also increasing, which the governor has his eye on. WJZ is live at the convention center. Amy Kawada with the latest on the pandemic in Maryland. Amy.
Good morning, Lynn. The convention center downtown, where Baltimore's first field hospital is now officially open and seeing patients. And we spoke with doctors here who are treating patients at this new hospital.
So these are for patient showers. So remember, the people that come here will be towards the back end of their illness.
3 weeks after the governor's tour, the Baltimore Convention Center finally opened as a field hospital.
They'll come here, so they'll be somewhat ambulatory.
250 beds for people recovering from COVID-19, but are too sick to do so at home.
We have created what you see behind me as a very robust facility. It's individual bays for people, but it's not rooms. It's not your conventional hospital.
The field hospital is designed to sort of take some of the pressure off of those medical centers so that they can be prepared to take care of the most critically ill patients in our community and, in fact, in our state.
Maryland has seen an increase in people hospitalized in both ICU and acute care beds. The bright spot is that testing is on the rise.
We're not out of the woods yet. But we're slowing the curve.
Maryland's Secretary of Labor apologized for the state's new unemployment website, which has repeatedly crashed since its debut last week because it can't handle the demand. The site will now have a waiting line and will shut down daily from 1 to 3 a.m. And you can't file new claims on Sundays and Mondays. And nursing homes have seen the biggest outbreaks here in the state. Starting this week, the governor says he'll begin releasing new data on cases at those nursing homes and long-term care facilities. Reporting live from the convention center downtown, I'm Amy Kawada for WJZ.
Thank you, Amy. To 6:34 now. 2 additional drive-through testing sites are opening this week. One will be at the emissions test location you see here in Owings Mills. The second will open in Prince Frederick, Calvert County. And as with the other drive-through sites, you will need to make an appointment and have an order from a doctor to get the test done.
The number of cases in the state prison system has grown to more than 200. Prison officials say the majority of those infected are correctional officers. As of Sunday, more than 150 correctional officers, 50 inmates, and 10 other staff members have tested positive for COVID-19. 1 inmate has died.
Baltimore City officially extends the state of emergency at the request of Mayor Jack Young. The City Council unanimously agrees with this move, and WJZ is live outside City Hall. Mike Shue brings us up to speed on last night's virtual meeting. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Tim. In addition to approving that extension, the council also found more money for schools and for small businesses. The March 18th state of emergency declaration is now extended indefinitely.
The City Council, we understand the importance of this at this moment. We will continue to be guided by the public health professionals and the science about when it's fully safe to reopen our city, and that's how we will go about making that decision.
You see other states opening up and you feel like it's too soon.
The state of emergency gives us more federal money to protect the citizens of the state and Baltimore too. That's probably a good idea.
The council also adopts a bill prohibiting landlords from raising rent during and after an emergency like this one.
When you don't know where your next check is coming from, you shouldn't have to stress about whether your landlord is raising rent.
Last night, city leaders also approved emergency $3 million legislation to fund distance learning for city students and a plan to get more food to those who need it. The council is also starting a $5.5 million fund to aid small businesses in the city. And this Friday at 7 o'clock, the council wants you to go to your window or to your door and make some noise. It's called Charm City Cheer, a way to encourage frontline workers. I'm Mike Shue reporting live at City Hall for WJZ.
Mike, thank you. Coronavirus infection and death totals are still on the rise. The number of confirmed cases in the U.S. is now approaching 1 million. The number of COVID-19 deaths has climbed above 56,000. Despite these rising numbers, parts of the country are taking steps toward a return to normal life. At least 18 other states are giving some businesses a green light to reopen. But in other places, there is growing frustration.
I've done hair for 15 years and I've never had lost this much income. And it's not fair, and I feel that there should be a choice that if a stylist can return to work, they can make that decision.
Many governors fear COVID-19 cases will spike if they reopen their states too soon. California's governor warns of a crackdown after warm weather led to packed beaches. He says the state won't be able to reopen unless social distancing rules are followed. While we're waiting to hear what's next for Maryland schools, Howard County Public Schools announces online graduation ceremonies will be held between June 1st and June 9th. Each high school, as well as Cedar Lane School and Homewood Center, will hold a virtual senior award ceremony for the class of 2020. Every school will host an in-person celebration sometime in the future. More details will be released once the plans are finalized.
6:38 now. Animal rescues across the country, including the Maryland SPCA here in Baltimore, have seen a spike in adoptions and foster applications since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, the Maryland SPCA launched a new program catered to those who have lost their jobs. It's called Kibble Connection Food Pantry. If you are in need of food for your pet and assistance to get that, well, head to WJZ.com for more information on where you can find help in your area. WJZ, as we tell you, has everything you need to know about this pandemic. You can go to WJZ.com and look under top stories for a list of resources. Plus, the most important links and numbers are found under our quick links section.